wanted to skate so badly that I would have done anything to get to the ice arena.
I look forward to any time I could go over to the rink.
It was just some place that everybody accumulated to skate and have fun.
People came from quite a few different states to skate there. And some weekends, half the state would be from Chicago.
And they could come in and take over the ice and free skate whichever way they wanted to skate. And no one ever seemed to get hurt. I've never seen very many accidents. I've seen more in Munn than I've seen over in Dam Hall in all those years.
I think I skated up to lean on the boards, and somebody hadn't hooked the gate, and I went sailing right through. And I think I bruised every bone in my body.
Ice surface in Dam Hall was wonderful.
It wasn't too hard, but too soft.
It was just the quality of when you started to move across the ice and the way your skates felt when they moved in it. It just felt good.
It was the best ice I've ever skated on.
I used to work for a man in the administration building, and he was a very strong sports fan of Michigan State. And one night he was at one of the hockey games, and he heard two people talking behind him during the time that they were surfacing. And the one person asked the other person, what are they putting down on the ice? And the person responded that it was hot wax. And of course, we thought that was pretty funny. Hot wax on the surface. I joined the Friday Afternoon Ladies Figure Skating Club about 1954 or the winter of 55. That was a very social group. We used to skate from 12 to 2 in the afternoon, and then we had coffee and cookies afterwards. Somebody always brought cookies. When I was president, I had to make up a cookie book because everybody was asking, you know, who made those cookies? And then I want the recipe, So we just made up a booklet of recipes for the cookies that people brought. Maybe 56, 57, I joined the Lansing Skating Club. It took me a while to meet the people who were involved with both groups. And that's when they started saying, oh, why don't you come out on Monday night and skate with us too? And well, that's all right. And so it became Monday and Friday. And then, of course, eventually you had to try to work it another day. And eventually it worked into almost every day. Every night I was doing something at the rink.
At Old Dam Hall, we had the ice lots of times from as soon as the public was over, and John Duncan would do us another flood, and we skated right through the whole night.
One of the pros would rent the ice. It would start at 10 or 11, 12 o'clock whenever you could get it, and it would just go on until 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning. And we all shared the cost, which was not that much then compared to what it is now.
So we skated nearly every night. We'd do exercises all the way up and down that rink. I would have 20 kids. One end of the rink, they'd have to go on 1 foot all the way down and stay on that foot, turn around on it, and go all the way back. 1 foot.
A lot of those people are still friends today, and a lot of them you see occasionally, like go out to dinner someplace, and all of a sudden you look across the room and, oh, I remember her. She used to skate, or he was in our skating club.
Dam Hall was always 55 or 50 out on the ice. And I've been in Munn where I can't get to the middle of the ice without going back and get my coat.
We would skate from, I think it was like September until March. And then everything stopped, and they would take the ice down and do any repair work they needed to do. When you went in there in the summertime when the ice wasn't down, it had a very strange, musty, damp feeling. You know, it wasn't crisp and cool like it was when the ice was down.
I don't ever remember the rink at Dem ever having anything wrong with it until the flood. And then the water filled right up to the bottom of the floor of the ice surface. And then the ice went like this.
They had the hockey games, and they had intramural hockey.
There was the figure skating class and the hockey class on at the same time. We had to split the ring in half. We put a rope at the far end of demonstration hall, and I remember giving a lot of patch lessons to Gary Clark, Joey Head, and maybe 100 other little kids, and Emil would be down at this end with his hockey team. They didn't use pucks, fortunately, like they do. I think they do now.
They had ice shows at the clubs, skating clubs put on. They used to have broom ball games, and they had some curling at one time.
I remember the balcony. The big high ceilings. Woo. They were really high.
Back then, we didn't have very big crowds, for one thing. And if you didn't sit along the floor surface, there were seats that went all the way around, and you had to go up into the balcony. You had to sit in about the first 3 rows of the balcony, because if you sat beyond that, you either had to stand up, or you could only see half the ice. And if you were up high enough, even if you stood up, you wouldn't be able to see the entire ice surface. And so lots of times you could hear a lot of banging going on, and people were screaming, and you didn't know what was going on, you know, until they started to move out from the place that you could see them again. It was the same with the ice shows. I remember watching a show with Carol Heiss one time, and I got there too late, and I was sitting way up, and I remember watching her doing a spin, and all I could see was her shadow moving around. And I had to wait until she started going up the other end of the ice before I could see her again. That's a good lesson, though. You did that maybe once, and after that, you were sure to get there when the doors opened. As an individual, you have these memories, and you kind of want them to be continued. You don't want people to forget about it because it was so special.